We've been investigating getting a home battery backup system for our house here in Southern California, but we've run into some of the same roadblocks that you've probably seen. They can be very pricey. They require an electrician to install, permitting, all of that stuff. Well, we found Pila at CES. They have a mesh plug and play small battery system that you can build upon and install multiples, but you can start with just one. Very, very cool system, very flexible and easy for somebody like us that just wants to get started, or if you live in an apartment or you're renting and all of that. I'm Patrick, I'm half of the electric duo. Let's go. Before we get into the interview, I just want to give a little bit more background. Like, we have solar on our house here. We looked at getting a battery backup when we got solar. It was way too expensive for what we wanted to do. We also have EVs in our garage, so we were looking at maybe doing a vehicle to home, vehicle to grid. Again, it takes a pretty big investment. That's why I was really excited to see that Pila was on the exhibitor list and to meet them, the CEO and the founder. Really exciting stuff. We're going to jump into that right now. Okay, we are here at CES and we are very excited. This is one of our top targets to come and visit. It's Pila, and this is Cole. He is the CEO and founder, correct?
You got it. That's right.
First of all, tell us a little bit about your background, because I think that explains where this came from.
Yeah, so the short version is I've been working on home batteries and home energy management for a long time. I was early on the team at Tesla working on the Powerwall, fantastic backup product. Then I went on to join SPAN, the smart electrical panel innovator.
Doing some load management.
Yeah, it's like replacing the old gray box, the 100-year-old fuse panel with a kind of smart control system where every circuit's controllable, every circuit's monitored, and with that, you can do all kinds of things from save money, shift things from one time of day to the other, use solar power, etc. But it's like, deep in that home automation electrification space.
Yeah.
Both great products, both require electricians to install, which means require permits, which means require owning your home, which in turn means $10,000 plus investment.
And even with that, like, because a lot of people go like, you have to own your home, but then there's a lot of people that like, I own my home, but I'm moving in 2 years.
Right.
Do I want to spend $15,000 for this system?
And when the average home tenure, I think, is something like 5 years.
Right.
And these systems have somewhere between 7 to 11 year payback on average.
Right.
The solar battery systems. It's a hard kind of thing to square. So that led us to this, similar vein. Pila is a battery. It's a smart battery that goes in your home, powers your most important appliances, whether that's your fridge, your Wi-Fi, your sump pump, your window AC, plugs into an outlet. So we're moving out of this professionally installed, complicated setup to something that you can set up plug and play.
Right.
And rather than one big battery in the garage, our team asked, what if you could distribute the battery across the home? So instead of the giant thing on the side of your home or in the garage, you've got the battery on top of your fridge, keeping that powered and protected. Maybe it's also powering the coffee maker. You've got the one in your den powering the TV, the Wi-Fi, the lights. You've got one in the garage with the door opener and the garage fridge, the sump pump. List goes on, right? A lot of the most important things actually plug in. And what we've built is a system that tethers all of these together from a software standpoint. So they charge and they discharge and they monitor and manage energy as if they were one big integrated system.
That's so cool. Yeah, because like one of the things that we have at home is like we have our home office. We have a battery from another company.
Sure.
It hasn't been great. It like randomly powers off. I can't really monitor it remotely. I don't know what's going on with it.
Yep.
But this sounds like, I can just tell from the display, very smart, but it's a whole ecosystem, including multiple rooms. So like, I think that's the genius part behind this.
And you're hitting on, I think, a point that will resonate with folks who have tried a lot of batteries. Maybe they bought them on Amazon, these kind of portable power stations. They're good for what they are, but they're not smart products in the sense that, the software is often kind of lacking. And that was a big lesson from the Tesla days and the SPAN days, that you actually have to think of this like grid infrastructure. And you need to build it with 4 nines uptime.
Yeah.
We have cell baked into this so that when the Wi-Fi goes down, you can still monitor even if you're in another country. It's kind of infrastructure grade through and through. And despite the fact that we're at CES, Consumer Electronics Show, we're more in that infrastructure camp than the kind of consumer widget with the 1-year warranty. This is multi-year warranty. It's built to last, but it's also built to really be dependable. Because when power cuts out, like no one has the patience for fiddly software and bad UI.
Or you find out the battery hadn't been charged.
Right.
You didn't get an alert.
Well, and so that's the other thing. These camping batteries are great for what they are as portable systems, but in a power outage, which is, I think, where a lot of people get started thinking about owning and controlling their electricity. In the power outage, you don't want to haul something out and run extension cords, every single time. So we've built this to be something that, is very design forward and feels at place in the home. So it comes in 4 colors.
You can put this on top of the fridge. You can put it on the wall.
So it can sit flat. It can, sit on the vertical base here. This is great for the den and the home office. Put it next to the media console. This is also great in the media console. On top of the fridge, and then you can actually mount it flat onto a wall as well. So like your chest freezer in your garage or your sump pump if you want to get it off the ground. But that design integrated into your home, all that's to say is that it's persistent. So you don't even have to be home. Yeah. Of course, you don't have to run extension cords, but you could be 3 states over and get the notification that says, power went out, you're protected, and here's exactly how long you're going to last off grid, 24, 48 hours for an average kind of fridge. And you can take action, in the app or on the screen to turn things off and manage energy to save power in those times of need.
Yeah. So if you're powering the fridge and the microwave and those type of things, you're like, okay, now we're running low. Let's just keep the fridge on.
Yeah.
Power everything else.
You can do it manually. You can set it up so that your preferences are kind of stored. There's a whole bunch of intelligence there, but it's at the end of the day, all of that intelligence is about putting you more in control and being able to trust that the thing is going to do its job.
Now, you mentioned a refrigerator being able to be powered for 24, 48 hours. So what's battery size? I mean, we have a lot of EV on
capacity,
so we understand kilowatt hours.
So this is kind of our flagship model. It's 1.6 kilowatt hours from the energy side. From power side, it's actually kind of juiced up. So this has a 2.4 kW inverter, so 20 amps. There's 2 outlets on the front. There's 2 20 amp outlets on the back as well. But it also has a lot of inrush starting capacity. So for folks that are familiar with, starting air conditioners and sump pumps, it's not just about the running load, it's that instant peak as the thing's starting up. So we can go up to 63 amps for about a half second to help start those big loads.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's the other thing where our little camping, portable battery failed was it looked like, and it said it could handle the peak, but it could not handle the peak. And every single time it would just boom and just trip it.
And some are better than others, but we're really proud of our design and the power electronics that are packed into this that, our team has built and designed in borrowing from experience and some of these other companies.
So you mentioned you're more, utility, thinking really high performance, high grade stuff, but you don't need an electrician. So will consumers be able to just come to you guys and order one?
Yeah, they can reserve today. So on our website, pilaenergy.com, they can put in a reservation. We've got a huge backlog and we're working to ramp up manufacturing, but we're going to ramp quickly and we'll be shipping more this year. So absolutely.
And what's the base price for the
$12.99?
$12.99.
Yeah,
that's not bad for that peace of mind.
Look, there are cheaper portable batteries out there.
Oh yeah.
That's great. We actually think there's a world where you're going to want the portable battery to go camping, to run tools on a job site, whatever. But Pila is an in-home battery, so you're getting not only something that looks a bit nicer, the form factor makes sense, but it does have all of this integrated value, whether it's Home Assistant or the other kind of smart home platforms, whether it's gathering analytics about your appliances, which is one thing that we kind of uniquely do.
Yeah.
We actually have a really interesting story with the fridge. We have these temperature sensors that constantly monitor temperature to build a picture of your specific refrigerator. learn its performance, and then even outside of the power outage scenario, it then becomes useful to tell you, hey, your fridge might be on the fritz. You know, it's peace of mind across multiple dimensions, or you left the door open, or any of these silly things.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That, you know, because it's about power at a base level, but I think it's also about understanding, you know, and understanding how your most expensive appliances are working or aren't working.
Now, do you do any type of, or allow people to do, I'm going to charge it at night and then shave off
Absolutely.
during the peak?
Yeah, so for the savings story, kind of breaks down in multiple categories. One, if you have solar, you know, you don't have to have solar to use Pila, but you know, there are a lot of folks that bought rooftop solar and didn't get a battery because it was, it adds a lot of cost and complexity. So you'd be a great customer. This can talk to your solar system, soak up that excess solar rather than sending it back to the grid, and then use that solar at night. So that's, you know, one mode, maximize my solar, boom.
That's very cool.
But if you don't have solar, you know, you might just be interested in charging at specific times of the day when power prices are lower. You know, out in California, we're San Francisco based, we have these crazy time of use rates where from 4 to 9 p.m. it might be, you know, 50 to 75% more expensive. And you want to use your cheap stored energy at that time, and then, you know, go back to using cheap electricity later on.
Yeah, and then going back around to the price, this becomes like a gateway to doing that versus let me write a check for $15,000 to put something on the wall, and it's going to save me, but it's going to take me 7 years to make that back.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the best saving story is having solar because you're going free electricity versus grid electricity. But there's all kinds of levels, including the load control piece. You know, scheduling things that don't need to run all the time to turn off. You know, even things like you know, computers and TVs. And they're kind of sneaky, this vampire load. You know, in an average home, it's like a quarter, 25% to 40% of your bill are these always on loads that may only be drawing 10 or 20 or 40 watts, but you know, they don't need to be on all the time. So just one example, you know.
No, we actually had that where I got some of the smart outlets and figured out my TV with the quick start mode. Was pulling 60 watts.
Yeah, and that adds up.
18 hours a day or, you know, 20 hours a day. It's just pulling all of that. And then when I turned it on, it was, you know, then I'm like, okay, I'm using power.
Yeah, okay, so let's say you bought this for your den and you plugged in your TV because that's something you'd want to use in an outage. Okay, it's plugged in, which means you now have monitoring of that, right? So you would see that 60 watts. You kind of uncover that insight. And then our goal is to help you figure out how you can automate that and make good decisions so that it's turning on and off at the right time automatically. So every outlet's a smart outlet. So, you know, you're kind of combining all these different values into one, which is, you know, the value stacking, I think, is the coolest part of this home energy tech.
That's so cool. I'm so glad we stopped by here. You guys were one of our targets. Thank you for sharing about this.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited. We'll put links down in the description so you can go reserve yours. And you're going in production 2026?
Yeah, we're ramping up as we speak.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you.
So as you can see, I think it is a really cool solution that they are offering. We also checked them out on the actual CES show floor. The event that we did the interview at was an event called PepCom, but they were actually on the CES show floor. They won a 2026 CES Innovation Award as well. So it was cool to see that they're getting recognized for this. I think it's just a really nice, slick solution. The box itself looks nice. The app looks nice. It's very easy. While we were on the show floor, we got to see them. They had a really cool setup on the show floor. They had a fridge and they had like a big switch that you could like throw the power and disconnect the power and watch that it, you know, the fridge didn't flicker or anything. It just stayed powered. When you put power back on, it gave it a few seconds to make sure the energy was stabilized before it transferred back to the grid energy. So really, really good solution. And just talking to the CEO and founder off camera, like I just really like his vibe and his attitude toward of like, we want to make sure this is seamless, that it works really well, that it is also an open standard. We've seen some companies in the EV charging segment go out of business and then all their users are just sort of out there on their own and they have a device that doesn't work nearly as well without the app. And they've made this so that it'll be some open protocols so that you can, don't have to worry about that. But I feel pretty confident that they have such a great solution. They're going to be around a while. We talked about, being able to integrate it into things like Home Assistant and some of these other, open source control systems that like I'm a big fan of. So really encouraged by basically just their attitude as well. So, we started off the interview talking about his background. You can sort of see where his thinking came from, but just he has that techie personality that's sort of like trying to think about like how to make this very easy for people to implement. I mentioned that like right now we have a battery that's from another company. We won't mention them because it's been flaky, that I use in our home office. And I literally, all I do is I charge it from midnight to 6 a.m. and then I run the home office throughout the day. And it's just sort of nice to like, we're charging with cheap energy and then able to do that. And he's like, yes, we've thought about that. Or, because we have solar, we can say like, use our excess solar, but like if it's cloudy, then switch over to the battery. But if I wanted to save a certain amount of battery for our peak hours, because our expensive hours are 4 to 9 p.m. when we don't have as much sunlight, of course, in the winter, is like you can set a reserve so that your peak hours, you can make sure you have battery for that. So I know I'm sort of like jumping around and giving you like all these little details, but I'm like all of this little stuff that I was coming up with randomly, they're like, yeah, we thought about that. Here it is. This is how you do it in the app. Very, very easy. So really cool to see them. I was really stoked to find them. And like I said, we like made a beeline over to their booth at PepCom. And then the same thing on the CES show floor. So anyways, let me know what you think. Is this the type of thing that you would like to see more coverage of? Are you considering one of these? What obstacles have you found when you have tried to come up with a home battery backup solution? And would this solve a lot of those things for you? Are there any gaps in what they're doing? Drop a comment down below. We'll pass it along to them. We're hoping to go visit them up in the Bay Area sometime this year, along with some other companies. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you want more CES coverage, of course, subscribe to our channel. We have a lot of stuff on the Donut Lab battery. I'm sure if you are a new subscriber, you probably came from our other Donut Lab battery videos. If you want more EV stuff, more home battery stuff, we're going to cover a lot of this stuff this whole year, as well as some vehicle to home, vehicle to grid technologies. Really excited by all of this new energy transformation stuff that is coming in 2026. Thank you to our Patreon members, as always, at the Unbridled, the Engaged, and the Whisper level. We appreciate all of you, and your names are scrolling across the bottom right now. Thank you to our YouTube subscribers, as well as our YouTube members that decide to chip in a couple of bucks a month to help making videos a little bit easier for us. We appreciate you so much. Again, give this video a like, share it wherever you feel appropriate. And as Liv would say, just remember, whatever you drive or however your house is lit, whether it's battery, grid, or solar, enjoy the ride or lights. That went really bad. But anyways, you get the point. Bye.